Hi, my name is Miss Melissa, and I am a teaching artist in the PACE program with the Acadiana Center for the Arts in the Lafayette Parish school system in Lafayette, Louisiana. Today, we are going to be learning about perspective drawing by creating a tree forest, as I have shown here. I'm going to share with you my secret recipe to make this happen. Are you ready? Good, because here it is. I have 4 ingredients, and they're actually right behind me. And the 4 ingredients are line, shape, value, and form. Let me show you each of these things. Here's an example of line, shape, value, and form. Yep, these are the ingredients that you will need today, as well as supplies. So let me show you the supplies that you will need to create your tree forest. You are going to need a white sheet of paper. A regular piece of white copy paper is fine. You will need a pencil, a pair of scissors, and you will also need crayons and markers. Since we're going to be making a tree trunk, you will need a brown crayon. Now, I wanted you to choose markers so we can make the sky. I'm going to show you how to make a sky by painting with markers. So you have a choice. You can choose a daytime sky, a sunset sky, or a nighttime sky. If you want a daytime sky, you need a blue marker. If you want a sunset sky, you can choose orange or pink. And if you want a nighttime sky, you can choose black, okay? Now, if you choose markers, if you have markers, you are also going to need a paintbrush and a cup of water. I'm gonna show you a cool trick on how to paint with markers. Now, if you do not have markers, that is totally fine. When we use markers for the lesson today, you are going to use crayons, okay? And that's perfectly fine. So, given that, if you have to use crayons for the sky, again, I want you to have a choice. If you want a daytime sky, you are going to choose blue. If you want a sunset sky, I would like you to choose orange or pink. And if you want a nighttime sky, you can choose black. Okay? Now, I'm working on this surface right now. You will need a surface to work on. So please pause the video so you can go and get your supplies. Let's go ahead and get our paper ready so we can start drawing. First thing you want to do is take your white copy paper or construction paper, whatever kind of white paper you had, and you're going to fold it in half. And I want to fold it in half to where my corners touch and the sides. Everything lines up. And now I'm going to press and make a crease. So I just folded my paper halfway. After you do that, open it up. We're going to need your scissors, and let's cut our paper in half. Now make sure when you use scissors that you open it up all the way. You want the paper to go way inside and keep your fingers out of the way from the scissors. Okay, you ready? Let's start cutting. You're going to open wide and close. Then you're going to slide the paper back into the back of the scissors and do the same thing. Close, slide, and close. Okay? We don't need 1/2 of it, so you can put that aside, and we're going to use this to draw. This is all you need to draw, just half of your paper. Now we can start the drawing. So how do we draw a tree? I'll give you a hint. Look up at these 2 pictures that I have here. Can you take a guess? How would you draw trees using those 2 pictures? If you were thinking using a straight line and drawing it to where you actually make a rectangle, You are correct. That is how to make a tree, or actually a tree trunk. We're just going to be making tree trunks today, okay? Very good. Now, how do we get perspective? Do you know what perspective is? Since we're going to be making a perspective drawing of trees, I'll give you a hint. Look at these bottom two pictures. How could we use these two pictures and apply it to our tree? If you were thinking shading light to dark inside of our rectangles to get something like this, you are correct. Very good. This is called value. Value is when you have lights all the way to dark. So you could have a range of value, light, medium, and dark, okay? So as you can see, especially with this tree trunk, we are going to use our crayons to shade light, medium, and dark. Now, once you do that, and you use value inside of shapes made from lines, because remember, the lines gave you the shapes. Now our value is going to give us form. So which one of these forms looks like or is similar to a tree trunk? If you were thinking this form right here, that is called a cylinder. A tree trunk is a cylinder, okay? I can go over all of these with you. This is a sphere, a cone, a cube, and a rectangular prism. And they're all different sizes. So your tree trunk is going to become a cylinder today just by adding value. Or, another way of saying that is shading with our crayon inside of the shapes. Pretty cool, huh? So, perspective it's the ability to make a two-dimensional picture look three-dimensional. Because keep in mind that two-dimensional means two sides, front and back. It's flat, but it doesn't look flat. It appears three-dimensional, and that's what is so neat about these. These all appear three-dimensional, but they're not. It's really flat. Well, that's because we used value. Value is very important in perspective drawing. So I'm going to show you how to do this today. Basically, you're making an illusion. Let's start drawing our tree. Remember, we're going to use a bunch of straight lines. So our tree trunk looks like a rectangle. But the trick to this is, guess what? I'm going to use the top and the bottom of my paper as the border for the top and bottom of the rectangle. So we don't even have to draw the top and bottom because it's going to be the edge of our paper. So all we have to draw is the sides of the rectangle. So let's get started. Let's make about 6 trees, okay? Let's do this together. And we can make some thin trees and some wide trees. I'm going to make about 6. So I'm using straight lines to draw my tree trunk. I'm going to make a wide one right here. And wide means it's just a little thicker versus this one as thin. And then I can make another thin one here. And maybe a medium size here. Not too thick or not too thin. Let's just make some different sized tree trunks. So let me show you what I did. And it looks like I have 5. And we're going to put some bark in our tree trunk so we could see it better. So I zoomed in so you could see how I drew my tree trunk, okay? I have different sizes. Some trunks are thick, some are thin. Now let's go ahead and add some straight lines of bark. Now bark can go up and down or side to side. I don't know if you could tell, but I have some straight lines going sideways. So, and this will help us to see our tree trunk. So very quickly, I'm just going to draw some small straight lines like this, but going sideways. And I'm going to skip a space. So I have sky, trunk, sky, trunk, sky, trunk, and you just keep going. So if you drew some bark inside of the tree, skip a space, and now we're going to put more bark. So you're just going to go all the way across, and I'm going to zoom in to show you what my bark looks like. I just have some random lines going across. See that? I might have a cluster or a group of 2 or 3 coming from both sides of the tree. So let's continue doing this together so we can finish drawing our tree trunk. Now here I have a big one. This is my wide one. So I'm going to put some going this way. 3 here, 2 here, maybe 1 here, 3 here. Some could be, you know, shorter, maybe medium and longer. You can have different numbers of lines to make your bark and different sizes too. And we just want to do something sort of like that. Keep it, you know, it's different. There's no perfect, the bark is never perfect on a tree. Just put some random straight lines. Now I have 1 left, so I actually made 5. So about 5 or 6 tree trunks would be good for you to do today with me. And let's see, and I'm done. I just finished making my tree trunks, the drawing of it, using straight lines, turning it into rectangles, and I added my bark. So now we can add value, so it begins to look like a cylinder and it gets that three-dimensional perspective. Now, if at any time I go too fast, please pause the video and I'll be here and you can catch up with me. I'm getting my brown crayon so I could shade all of my tree trunks. Now, what I want you to do is keep in mind we're going to make a light, a medium, and a dark shade of brown. So what I need you to do with me is color all of your tree trunks. We're going to just do it, we're going to color all of your tree trunks at one time with different ranges of light, medium, and dark. So let's go over all of them. You can barely see it. That's how light I want you to color. So you're pressing very softly. You're pressing very softly on all of your tree trunks. Make sure you press soft so it will show up light. Okay? So let's just color all of them really, really light as you can go. So we can get our perspective. Okay, I have 1 left. And remember what I said, if I go too fast, you can always pause the video and I will be right here when you get back. So I'm trying to apply the same pressure. There we go. I'm going to zoom in so you can see it. See that? I added a light value. Now we're going to jump from light all the way to dark. So basically, pretend this would be brown, okay? It's really red, but you can have value with colors or black and white. So let's just jump all the way to the dark. Now pick a side. You can pick the right side or the left side, and we're gonna keep it the same. I'm gonna choose the left side, and I'm gonna make my left side super, super dark. I'm gonna press as hard as I can. And you'll kind of make some little wax crumbs from the crayon if you press really hard. You see that? Basically, it's like tracing. You could trace the side of the tree and color just a little section of it really hard. Because the harder you color, the what? The darker it's gonna get. Very good. So that helps you to trace. Now keep in mind, if you choose the left side, you have to color hard on all trees on the left side, okay? All trees should be on the left side because we're gonna pretend the light is coming in, making a shadow. Okay, now this is a wide one, so I can go a little further. My color broke, it's fine. I'm gonna keep using it, that will happen. If you don't like to color with a broken crayon, you can get a couple because they might break. Okay, I'm gonna wipe off my crumbs and I'm gonna keep going. You can start off tracing the left side of your tree. Now, if you decided to trace the right, then all of your trees need to be traced on the right side. Okay, I have one left. I'm just coloring hard because I want it to be what? Dark. Very good. All right, so now, what do you think we're gonna do next? So far we have light and we have dark. If you were thinking we're gonna color medium, very good, we are. So that means you're not gonna press too soft and you're not gonna press too hard. So I want to have, you know, dark, medium, and light. So kind of in between. I'm just going to press medium, not too hard, not too soft. Okay? On all of my tree trunks. So it's kind of in the middle. Basically, you're pressing medium, and there will be no perfect one. So we'll have three sections of dark, medium, and light. Now, I went ahead and colored these in. Okay, so now I'm finished. I'm finished with shading dark, medium, and light. Now, I do have an eraser, so if you accidentally go outside the lines like I just did, you can actually erase the crayon. Okay? So, now what we're gonna do is just do a little bit of blending. So basically, where you have light, medium, and dark, you kind of want to blend in between. So you can, it's up to you. So if you want to connect the really light with the medium, you can just put a little bit here. If you think this is too dark and there's not enough in between the dark and medium, you can just color a little bit over it. So I'm just blending. I'm just kind of smoothing out. See, to me, I see too many stripes. So what I'm going to do here is maybe color like in between hard and medium to blend. And then here I'm going to color in between what? Medium and soft. So it's just like a little trick to how much pressure you want to apply. So now look at that. Doesn't that look more blended? I don't see the stripes, so I just kind of made these in between colors. It's not dark, it's not medium, it's not light, it's kind of in between. All right, so I think I'm done blending. Now, if you want to, you could even take your crayon and maybe trace over the bark. I can show you up close where it's light. You can see the bark on the light side. So again, take your crayon and maybe just trace it. Like go over it. Let me show you up close. Oh, you can see it a little bit. Look at that. Doesn't that stand out? Okay, so go ahead and let's trace over our bark together. And I think I need a little bit more dark right here. You could always go back and make it pop out even more, giving that illusion of dark, medium, and light. And keep in mind, the tree trunks aren't going to be exactly the same. See, I noticed the ones on this side, these two, actually three, are a lot lighter than those two. And that's fine. I kind of like the difference. So let's go ahead and finish. Maybe tracing our bark just on the light sides of the tree. And that would be my right. My right side of my tree trunks are light. I am very happy with this. Now we can actually create the sky with markers and water. If you don't have markers or water, please use your crayon of choice. I'm choosing orange for this picture, just so I could show you a difference of what it looks like with a sunset sky versus a daytime sky. So, what I'm gonna do is go ahead and trace the edge of the tree. Why am I doing this? Well, if I trace the edges of all of my tree trunks, I know that I will not go past that line. This helps me. This helps me stay inside of the lines. So you are going to be using a black marker, an orange marker, or pink if you want a pink sunset, or a blue marker. All right, so now what I'm going to do, now that I traced, and I could show you up close. There we go. You can see it. It stands out. I traced all of my edges of the tree trunk. Now I'm going to color all of the white space. Now keep in mind, we're going to use the ink from the marker to paint. So I don't want you to fill one area in too dark. Kind of leave it, with some white areas. Like if the marker is running out, that's actually good. So just spread it real quickly, and you don't even have to color everything. You see that? Some areas may be dark, some are light. I'm using the side of my marker. You could even leave a little bit of white space. This one's running out a little bit, which actually will work better. You'll see. So just quickly fill in the whites, and you don't even have to color everything. See? Now remember, if I'm going too fast, you could always pause the video and I'll be here when you get back. So now what I'm going to do is dip my brush into the water. Just put very little, and watch what happens when I rub my brush on top of what I just colored. Do you see how it blends this? Now, here's the thing. If you go over and over, and if you keep rubbing this wet brush in the same spot, it's going to eventually peel the paper. So just rub it a couple times and move on. Each piece of the sky, I'm dipping my brush in the water. Now it's starting to drip, so I'm just going to take my napkin and just kind of press it like that. Look at the difference. I have to zoom in so I could show you this. Do you see the difference of the area that I colored with the marker and with the area that I used water? The water picks up the ink and smears it, so it kind of looks like a watercolor painting. I love this. This is coming out super neat. So I'm wondering if you've ever done this before. Did you know that you could actually paint with markers? Now, am I staying in the same spot over and over? No, please don't do that, because already I could see some little pieces of paper. That's okay if a couple of pieces of paper start to shred, that's fine, but that's a clue for you to move on, because I don't want your paper to tear. If you add too much water, it will tear. I'm going to take my napkin, kind of blot, and voila. You have a finished perspective drawing of trees. I think it came out fabulous. And I bet yours did too. Now that you have finished your perspective drawing of trees, I have a little surprise for you. Are you ready? Good, because I want you to go on a scavenger hunt in your home, and I want you to locate as many cylinders as you can find. Why? Well, because we drew the three-dimensional perspective of a cylinder, right? This is not an actual three-dimensional cylinder. It's the perspective of it. We made the illusion of a cylinder. So what I need you to do, though, is ask your parents for permission if you want to actually touch and collect these items. If not, you can just visually locate them. So let me show you a couple of examples before you start. Here is a what? A water bottle. Very good. It's an actual three-dimensional cylinder. Okay? Here I have what? A bottle of paint. This is also a cylinder. You can compare. It's the same. Now there's a little top, but that's fine. It's still a cylinder. What about this? I have a cup of pencils. The cup itself is very good, a cylinder. Even the what? If you were thinking, even the pencil is a cylinder. And again, it's okay if it has a point. It still has that shape. So I hope you enjoy going on your scavenger hunt today in your own home to locate three-dimensional cylinders. So thank you for joining me today. We will be posting a new lesson every day at 10 a.m. on the Acadiana Center for the Arts YouTube channel for kindergarten, first, and second grades, each tied into the academic curriculum. You can also get these lessons on AOC as part of the Learn United program, accessible on Cox Channel 16 or LUS Channel 4. Kindergarten lessons air at 8 a.m., first and second grade lessons air at 9 a.m. Some lessons will be in visual arts and some in creative movement, so be sure to come back and make art with us tomorrow. If you are interested in supporting programs like this, visit the Acadiana Center for the Arts.org, which is the nonprofit organization who manages this PACE program. Spread the word, share our videos, and keep making art. Want more? You can book me for a private online lesson. My email is below. Thank you so much and have a great day.